You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hey there, hi there, ho there, folks. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Woldog, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
What's up, guys? I'd like to introduce my new friend. Do you want to meet him?
Yeah.
Yes, I would love to meet him.
Herbie.
Oh,
I got a little
Herbie.
Herbie. Hey, Herbie.
Oh.
Hi, Kevin. How are you? I'm good. Hi. Nice to
Hey, Herbie, were you in?
I was definitely fucking in. Yeah. Party. Woohoo.
All right.
Raiders.
I'll come back later. You never know when I'll be. I'll show up. Ha ha ha. Bye-bye.
Let's not forget Kyle, the coach, Duggan.
How we feeling after this bye week, guys? What's the energy at?
Dude, I'm feeling good.
I'm fucking ready. I'm
Yeah?
just like, it would have been better if the Raiders would have lost.
Yeah.
That would have been better.
But
yes.
seeing the Chiefs like full on
dude,
meltdown, bro,
just
was
like
like awesome.
rumbled.
that
That
helped
was
get that
crazy.
taste of piss that was in my mouth after the Ravens game. Just washed it right
Somebody
out.
just straight up pissed in your mouth.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, last week when we were recording these, just a salty dog.
Yeah, a lot of asparagus.
Yeah, watching Patrick Mahomes just get kneed in the face.
Oh, God.
that was brutal,
Well, just
man.
all the turnovers, all the fumbles from that
Yeah.
game was just like, what is going on with
They
this
just
team?
did not look good.
Dude, their defense started off like crap, and that was holding them back, and now their offense is holding them back. Like they're just holding themselves back, and keep doing it. We'll take as many weeks of that as you want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know if this is it, but it feels like you pay a guy $1 gajillion at quarterback. It's hard to have a roster around him.
Yeah,
No,
well,
exactly.
that has
It's
been
gonna
the
catch
argument
up
for
to
that
you.
team and
Yeah.
the argument for our team in the future if we can continue to have Herbert play as well as he is, especially, with that quote unquote sophomore slump that we all did not see.
Suck it.
All right, folks. Well, all that out of the way, it's time to get on with the episode. We have lots to talk about. And at the top here, we have some winners to announce. Boy, after a few grueling Zoom meetings between Kyle and Kevin, they were able to pick 2 Charger Chat followers to go to the game this Sunday with yours truly. Oh boy, there was quite a few entries, and boy, there was some really tempting looking folks out there that was just like, oh man, I don't know how these
It's
guys
a
are
lot
going
of
to
good
choose.
submissions. It was hard. But we locked ourselves into a Zoom room. Kyle smacked me around a little bit. I smacked him around a little bit, but we eventually came to a conclusion.
All
And
right.
I think we picked the right guys.
Here comes the drum roll. Josh from Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where the wind comes whipping around the valley.
Yeah, Josh.
All right. This will be his second game ever and is traveling into town for the game. He's been a fan since the 4th grade.
I love it, dude.
Congrats.
I love getting these out of towners, dude. It
Yeah, it's
gives
fun.
them the motivation to get the plane ticket and get out there. I just love it
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, the excitement is just that much more. And the second ticket is going to Landon from Fullerton. Congratulations, Landon. Been a Charger fan since 2006. He's also a furious Pepsi Rookie of the Week and FedEx Air Player voter. That's what he does in his
Speed
spare
clicker.
time, I
Speed
guess.
clicker. Yeah.
Hang on, I think drum rolled my webcam out of sync there. All right, well there you go, guys. 2 winners coming to SoFi with me.
Are you
baby.
excited, Wooly?
Get
It's
ready,
like-
guys.
It's
Get
like not
ready.
even
It's
fun
gonna happen.
anymore.
It's gonna hapen.
Wooly's just at every game now. It's not even a big deal.
I know. I'm a regular
He just
now.
first time we go to Thunder Alley, it's like Disneyland. You're looking
Wow.
around. Now he's got like handshakes with all the
Right.
guys.
Now I know everybody by their first name. I'm like, Gladys, how you doing? Tim, what's shaking?
Gladys, I want to meet her.
She works the food stand.
Are you excited though? You got,
Oh, I can't wait.
6 days till the game, guys.
I can't believe that. Like it's
crazy.
It's crazy how quickly it's coming up. I can't believe that I'm going to this many games so early on in the season with still so much more football left. I'd feel like, boy, we must be nearing the end of the season if I'm going to my third game, right? Like, no, this is just started, folks.
Hey, we need your luck too. A fact popped up that I recently saw.
Oh,
we haven't beat the Patriots since 2008.
Wow.
So you better win, Wool Dog. We're counting on you. We're counting on Landon, and we're counting on Josh.
Well,
bring it home, boys.
We will absolutely do everything that we can to make sure that we win this Patriots game. Boy, guys, I can't wait. And everybody else that is going to this game, please, tag me on Twitter. Already some of you folks are tagging me on Twitter. Mike Modlin. I know I'm going to see you there, big guy.
Yeah, you get to meet the Modster.
I get to meet the Modster. Senior Snappy, I'm definitely going to be swinging by the SS dadgummit on my way through Thunder Alley, and I'll be bringing 2 guys with me as well. Cannot wait. All right, well, now let's get on with the episode. Boy, as we mentioned this last Friday episode, there was going to be a new All In, and sweet Sassy Molassy was that a sweet All In to watch. That was
a cool one because that was the first time they really dove into like two players and how they work together, and like they spent the whole time on how one helps the other. We've always talked about it, but they actually gave us plays and specifics, and it was really cool to see how they complement each other.
Right. Yeah, because I mean that's been the talk is like, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, like these are arguably the 2 best wide receiver duos in the league right now. And can you double cover one without covering the other? And I mean, these guys are getting open, and they're being utilized this season in a way that we've not seen, especially for Mike Williams before. So it's been really exciting to see that. And honestly, like with the way that episode ended as well, talking about the Baltimore game, losing the Baltimore game. And I'm actually kind of excited to see what Staley is going to say as far as like planning going into this Patriots game. Like he's that good of a coach that like, even after as salty as the loss as that was, I want to hear what he has to say. I want to hear what his game plan is or how he's going to fire this team back up from such a devastating loss. Let's see. So Staley had a quote at the beginning of the episode. You can tell how good a team you will have by how nice the cars are in the parking lot. Nicer the cars in the parking lot, the better players you got.
And he said he was quoting one of his players from Chicago.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is funny how you that's what the players think about when they're walking into practice.
Right.
And
the problem with the Kansas City Chiefs is like they have one Maybach and like a whole bunch of Ferraris. One guy has all of those, and then the rest of the team has like
Toyotas.
Ford F-150s and some Toyotas, maybe a couple Priuses if they're conscious of energy. They don't want to pay for that.
Yeah, I from the parking lot that I've seen for the All In and all the behind the scenes stuff, we've got some guys that drive some pretty sweet cars. So I think we're in good standings there. And
that some Teslas on the All In. So good work.
The money.
Yeah,
money
gas
well spent.
prices in California right now. Everyone that can afford a Tesla is driving a Tesla.
Go do it. It's
right.
Yeah.
And we saw Derwin's ride, and that behind the scenes with his.
And he's still
episode.
on his first contract, so get ready.
Right,
he's gonna have something pretty sweet on that next.
Kenneth Murray has Kenneth
Murray's got some great
garage
cars.
full of them. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, and looking at some team updates, the Chargers finally signed somebody during the bye week. We picked up Andre Roberts, wide receiver, return specialist. It was pretty exciting because obviously that's an area that we've been wanting to see an improvement on.
I think coach was saying like giving Herbert starting at the 15, 18 yard line is just not going to cut it for him. So this was a great step in the right direction.
Right. Well, hopefully, I mean, we've got to see this guy play a game and see what he can do. But it certainly seems like if this is his bread and butter,
he's got a track record
up a good guy. Yeah.
We were talking about on last week's episode, like, are there just return specialists sitting around available, and
apparently there was.
Clearly, I mean, we just didn't know, but clearly there was one sitting around and we knew he was there. So obviously we had to get rid of somebody to be able to make that spot available.
Right. We got rid of KJ Hill. Apparently that was
and then
a little bit of a surprise.
He didn't, he cleared waivers though. So he's back on the practice squad. So he's not
KJ
gone.
is? Oh, okay,
he's not
good.
gone for good. And I think it's interesting because Andre Roberts, 3-time Pro Bowler in the last 3 years. Like I'm just confused why he was available. I think that's where my confusion is. Because Roberts leads the NFL in total return yards by more than 1,300 yards and has returned 1 punt and 1 kickoff for touchdowns. So that's kind of crazy. And I want to know a little bit more about why he was available. So something to dig into, boys.
I think a lot of the highlights that we've been seeing from him has not been his last team that he was with, I believe, was the Texans. And it wasn't.
That's a fire sale over there.
Right. So I think, I don't know what kind of talent he was surrounded by with the Texans over there. And he might be surrounded by better talent over here, or maybe better coaching. Hard to say.
I had heard that there was, I don't have the stats on it. But I've one of the articles that popped up that was announcing our signing, said that he had some turnover issues. Like he had a couple fumbles here and there, that had become a little bit of a concern. So I don't know if that's why teams were scared off, but I'll take a Pro Bowler. I'll take my chances.
Yeah,
and,
time to introduce him to the Charger Claw.
Charger Claw, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do with us. But so far, that's been the only pickup that we've seen in this bye week. I know a lot of us have been wanting to see a little bit more moving and shaking going on, because this feels like right now we're making a playoff run, starting off 4-2. Going into the bye week, we'd like to see, plug up some holes in certain spots. But
the one thing I'm curious, like people are always talking about, like, let's add somebody now, bring them in right away. They're going to make a difference. Like, I just don't think that's realistic expectation. If you bring in somebody from another team, have to come in, learn the scheme, and immediately have some kind of impact the next week, that's going to change everything.
But the assumption is we'll be in the playoffs in 12 weeks.
Right.
And by then that person will be fully assimilated, ready to rock and roll and help us make a push for the Super Bowl.
Right.
So I think that is the long-term hope. And we've seen some of the names get thrown around. Akeem Hicks is obviously at the top of everyone's board.
Right.
Somebody came out and released like the details of what it would take, the dead cap space and how much we would have to pay him this year. It just didn't seem like that big of a deal. It seemed like if they wanted him, they would go get him.
Yeah.
It seemed like if we wanted him, it was like maybe a 5th round pick. We pay him $5 million this year. And so I feel like if we want him, we can have him. I don't know if we're gonna do it. I don't know if we're gonna pull that trigger on a guy that's been hurt for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, because he's hurt right now. Like he's not playing.
He didn't even play last week.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. There's still time before the deadline. I think the deadline is just the beginning of November next week. 2nd, something like that. So
like next Tuesday.
Yeah. So we'll see if any, there's still time for changes or pickups to be made.
Let's see how Justin Jones is, man. We got guys coming back.
We do have guys coming back.
Coming back. We got D tackles coming back. So
could make some big differences.
And coach says that he's putting a lot of blame on himself. He's saying he's just not preparing the guys in the scheme to do what they need to do. So I'm curious how much of that is him just like taking the blame and absorbing that versus like scheming.
How much
like
truth is to that statement?
This is a big game, man. He's going up against Bill Belichick. Like this is the time for him to shine and figure out what a Coach Staley led Chargers team is all about. Because this is going to come down to coaching. Like Belichick always beats us with coaching. It's not always the players and the personnel. It's coaching. It's the fourth quarter. It's finishing games. Like we're just not known for that against Belichick.
Right. I mean, we haven't always been this bad against the run. It's not like these guys are incapable of defending the run. It's just, it seems like it's been scheme or execution, one of the two. And both of those should be coachable, I would like to think. Looking over at some of the Twitters, Jeff Miller tweeted out, head coach Brandon Staley said linebacker Drew Tranquil, safety Nasir Adderley, and defensive tackle Justin Jones are all trending toward returning Sunday versus New England. He said Kenneth Murray Jr. is a little behind the others time-wise. So
those are 3 big names. Those are
three big names.
Big names.
And we'd like to see Kenneth Murray get back sooner than later, but he's at least trending in the right direction. So we might not see him.
If we can get one of 2 starting linebackers back, that's a win. Obviously, we'd like to have both, but not having to have a rookie undrafted guy get tossed in there and hope for the best.
Right.
I would much rather. I mean, we're a much better defense if Drew or Kenneth want to come back.
And getting Adderley back, I think, is going to. I mean, getting all these guys is going to be huge. Getting Adderley back is going to let us, let that secondary play the way that they should. Now that we've got Harris back as well, And Justin Jones, obviously, to shore up that defensive line. Hopefully
I'm
that is the
excited,
hope.
man. There's so much like hype behind Justin Jones coming back. And I think there's so much like hope and anticipation and like expectation on him.
Right.
I really hope that he delivers, like I hope
We
he
all
comes
do,
out and
yeah.
just has a game against the Patriots, because we've put a lot of our eggs into that basket, being like, hopefully we have a solution here when Justin Jones comes back.
I think going and pulling the trigger on Akeem Hicks is basically acknowledging that Justin Jones isn't the guy. Acknowledging some of these guys aren't the guys, because I don't think they've developed him enough to know. They haven't seen enough this year to know how good he is. He's only played a half of a game. So I think the big thing, maybe why we haven't picked anyone else up, is they have a lot more confidence and they've seen a lot more of Justin Jones than we have. So maybe that has something to do with it.
I think that's an excellent point. We'll have to wait and see, because as Daniel Popper tweeted out, Justin Jones was back at practice, and the Chargers to have 21 days to activate him off IR. So they haven't activated him yet, but he is back at practice. So that is a good sign. Daniel Popper also tweeted out on Tristan Vizcaino. Brandon Staley says multiple times that Chargers will keep all options open, but reiterates that he and coaching staff continues to have confidence in Vizcaino.
There's no way you have confidence in Vizcaino. Like, I love it, coach. You're going to go out there and support your guy. There's no way you have confidence in. There's none. There's no confidence in that guy being able to make a kick. He's like at 50% right now.
Right.
On field goals, he's 5 for 6 on regular field goals, but he's like hot trash.
His extra points. Yeah.
Extra points. Yeah. His regular field goals, she's decent, 5 for 6.
Right.
But his extra points are like those. You got to make all your extra points, man.
Right.
And not non-existent.
Jeez.
I mean, on the one hand, I'm glad that his field goal percentage is better, because those are 3 points versus 1. But you got to make the one.
You got to do it.
You got to make the one.
It's like not being able to shoot a layup, but you can make a 3-pointer. It just doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Doesn't make sense. I mean, hopefully, whatever it is that is affecting Vizcaino from making those easier shots, they've had a couple weeks to try to get it figured out.
Yeah.
But
Some yoga, maybe. What do you think he did in the week off?
Some treatment
get
facility.
some crystals, get some gems. I mean,
All of
tarot
it.
card readings. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just something to open his third eye and get him kicking straight or whatever it is. And then lastly, let's see. Warren Sharp tweeted out Coach Staley on how to improve this defense moving forward. Basically, Staley said, we're going to take a hard look at our operations so that we can be more prolific on first and second down moving forward. So
that's
I mean,
basically the run that you got to shut down. Basically what he's saying is they got to shut down the run and not let them pick up 5-6 yards every time they run the ball on first and second down. Like that's clear that's the problem. I think everyone can see it. So hopefully, I really am hoping that they come out. We're going to be a different team than we were last Sunday. That's just a fact. Like we're not
we have
ourselves.
to be if we want any shot. Yeah.
What we come back as is what I'm fascinated to see. Like what we're about, how we come back after a loss like that, like what we look like. I'm excited to see what
against
that
a good team that just put up 54 points.
Yeah. New England just creamed the Jets. And I mean, obviously the Jets, Zach Wilson went out partway through with an injury, but still 50 plus points against that team is
that's some college points right there.
That was some heavy-handed win. Yeah, we'll just have to hope that Staley is taking time with the team and figured out a scheme or a plan to stop this freaking run. Hopefully Justin Jones is a part of that as well. All right, folks, now it's time to talk about our sponsor, Symbol. Symbol is the stock market for sports that allows you to profit off your sports knowledge. On Symbol, you can trade sports teams like stocks, and every time your teams win, you earn cash. Use your sports knowledge on Symbol to buy low, sell high, and earn cash payouts when your teams win. Join the 7,000 plus early adopters who have started to invest in their favorite teams. Visit www.symbol.com. That's www.simbull.com to create a free account. And when you deposit, make sure to use the promo code ChargerChat for a money-back guarantee. That's ChargerChat, all one word. And your deposit will have a money-back guarantee up to $500. That means even if you lose money in the first 90 days, Symbol will refund your initial deposit, no questions asked. Join Symbol and start investing and profiting from your favorite teams. All right, Kevin. We've had a bye week. Has there been any adjustments
most
to
of our shares are in the Chargers, so it was a light week for us. I'm not gonna lie. Did buy one share of the New York Jets.
Oh no.
And
not doing well.
Didn't pay back a lot. Didn't get
our
that
penny stocks didn't
get the bonus. Didn't get the bonus.
Thank God
on
for that
one.
money back guarantee.
But they were already pretty low at the bottom, so there's not, there's the fall. It was more like a soft fall onto a pillow. Like it wasn't
a toddler
the end.
trip.
Right.
Yeah, it was a toddler trip. Yeah, like ow, dada, ow.
Those happens
like that
all
kind of
day.
thing.
Yeah. You're good.
So we're
Wipe
looking good. I
out.
think our most of our shares, guys, is in the Chargers. So let's go out. Let's get that W. Let's make a little cash, and then our stock price will go up.
Yeah, I think if the Chargers can pound the Patriots after the Patriots pounded the Jets, I think that stock price is going to go all the way up.
Going on.
A whole lot of pounding going on. So there you go, folks. Go check it out. Symbol.com. All right. Well, now let's take a look at the press conference. Staley had this to say about kick returner Andre Roberts. He's got a lot of experience. He's exactly what we need. We need someone with experience who has a high level of production at the position. The last 3 years, he's been really productive. I think he will be a real asset for us moving forward. He will be returning punts and kicks.
Which is not all teams have a guy that does both. Usually you're kind of splitting the duties. So he said that's in that press conference, he said like that is a huge value to have one guy doing everything. So Charger Claw. And I don't know if you watched some of his highlights, dude. He is quick, makes a decision, and goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's none of this hesitation. It's like, I'm going,
I remember that being what you guys were talking about in one of the previous episodes was like the guys that we just don't have that quickness that
they don't have
we're
that
seeing
killer
from Andre
choice.
Roberts.
It's like the killer mindset of like, I'm going there now. It's like a boom, boom.
We talked about that with Hannick Milligan when he came on the show the first time around, talking about what it takes to be a special teamer. They're just built different, dude. You can't just stick any receiver out there and be like, oh, you're good at catching the ball and running, so you're going to go be a good kick returner. There's something different about that position and being good at it. And so these guys really are specialists. It's what they do.
You got to be kind of crazy, though, honestly. Like, how nerve-wracking would that be to not throw up the fair catch, but just like, all right, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And then go. It's like the decision making and like the just analyzing what's happening. You need to have a split second kind of reaction time. And hopefully he does it for us. Anything is better than what we have right now, in all honesty. So hopefully he holds on to the ball and does what he's known to do the last 3 years.
Big hopes. Since you mentioned that, Kev, that the kick returner and punt returner, Kyle, from your experience, what are there any specific skills that you look for in one versus the other as far as kick returning and punt returning?
I don't know, man. It's just in my opinion, if you do one, you can do both.
Yeah.
It's being able to see field and have vision and make a decision and just go, and you're okay with getting hit. But yeah, I don't.
You got to be okay with
sometimes,
that.
a lot of times in football, it's just like you got it. Like you watch a guy do it one time, you're like, yeah, that guy's got it. He has the ability to do it. Whereas some guys, they can be extremely athletic and they have all the measurables, but it's just like, man, you can't see it for whatever reason, and it's really, really hard to coach. So it's good to have a guy that can do it.
Absolutely, happy to have him. Also talking to Staley in the press conference on the blowout loss last year to the Patriots. He said, I won't address it because I wasn't here for that. For me, I'm just treating this week like it's got a life of its own. This is the 2021 Chargers-Patriots game, and that's how we're going to approach it this week. I know we are going to attack the 2021 Patriots, and they are an outstanding team.
I think we're building up this hype. Like, was us as fans, we felt that.
Oh, I remember it. Yeah,
I
I'm taking
vividly
that
remember
into this
that.
game. Yeah.
So we're bringing baggage. I think maybe this is a good way to look at it. Staley's not bringing any baggage because that could affect.
True. Yeah.
Could affect something. So coming in
it's
fresh
a different,
and not even acknowledge,
good or bad,
saying he's not going to acknowledge it. Like, I like his approach. It makes sense. Like, let's focus on this and let's not look at the past. But we all remember the past. We vividly remember the past.
Yeah, it wasn't.
We
that long
remember.
ago.
Yes, we've all got the scars to prove it. So yeah, I mean, they're different teams on both sides. Like the Chargers are different, the Patriots are different. They've got different quarterbacks, or they have a different quarterback, I should say. And I'm looking forward to the game, man. I think if anybody can show why Staley should be the coach of the year, I think this is the game that could show why Staley should be the coach of the year. So we'll have to wait and see. And don't forget, folks, to go on over to chargerchat.com. We have a member section on our page, so please feel free to head over there and sign up. And it's getting colder out there, folks. It's raining over here in Boise. We just added some new sweatshirts to our store, so if you want to try to stay warm and in style, go to chargerchat.com. And when you grab something from our store, it really helps us cover the cost of producing the show. So if you feel so inclined to go over there, take a look at what we got. We got, Kevin and I, we've got our Charger Chat shirts on today. You can get one over, and they are super duper comfy. I can promise you that. If anything, they're very comfortable.
We promise.
We promise. All right, folks. Well, now it's time to go on to our next segment. It is Coach's Corner. Let's see what we got.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
All comes down to today.
You take this helmet and you put it right in his numbers, okay? I want to see nothing but snot bubbles in his nose.
A lot of people want to blame coaches for a lot of things.
Nobody puts coaches
trade up,
And we shut them down because we can.
It's because I believed in you.
And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style.
Let's do it.
All right, folks. Well, now it is time for Coach's Corner. And this week we reach into the bag of questions and I pull a question out from Go Bolts, a.k.a. JPez71, who asks the question.
God, I'm fine, fresh. Not maybe. I'm like Justin.
Oh, my God.
What specifically did the Bengals do versus the Ravens that we couldn't do? And don't say score more points.
Don't do it. Don't you do it, Kyle.
Do it, you son of a bitch.
Do it right now.
Don't you? All right. So, yeah, obviously, anybody that watched, we didn't have a Charger game to watch this last weekend, so we were watching other games. And one of those was the Bengals just seemingly blow out the Ravens in a way that we could not do. Yeah. So what did you see anything specifically, Coach, in that game that made it seem like we did something wrong?
Yeah, it's crazy. Me and my dad were actually talking about it. It's this, like, the NFL is so unpredictable. Any team could be any team, like, bad any week. If you don't show up with your A game, or you have a couple bad injuries or something comes up, and you just don't get a good quick start, man, you can get shellacked really fast. And that's what happened here. Like, so first thing when we chose this question to be for Coach's Corner is I went and looked at the stats. And if you just look at the stat sheet, you would not be able to put the score as drastically different as it was. Like, we got our butt handed to us on the scoreboard, and the Ravens got beat up by a division rival. But if you look at the stats, you would think that you would think maybe that we won more likely than the Bengals did. So the Ravens against the Bengals on offense, the Ravens this last week against the Bengals, they had 278 yards passing and a touchdown with no interceptions. They ran the ball for 115 and a touchdown. So they had one turnover, which was a fumble. And they ended up breaking it even on turnovers. Okay. So those are decent stats, 278 passing, 115 rushing, 2 touchdowns. And they were in the zero on as far as a turnover differential. Against us, they passed for 167, a touchdown, and an interception. So they threw for 120 less yards, and they threw a pick. And rushing, that's obviously where they did significantly better against us. They had 187 yards versus 115 this last week. But we forced 3 turnovers. We had the picks and the fumble. Like, we forced turnovers. They were -2 in turnover differential against us. So if you just look at offensive statistics, it doesn't look like we did that much worse than them. Total yardage was about the same. We forced 2 more turnovers. It's like so I was like, I don't know. It's not as if their defense was extremely dominant in any way, shape, or form. I went and looked at special teams last week. The Ravens against the Bengals, they had 2 kick returns for 45 yards against us, 2 kick returns for 70 yards. So there you could say that field position was a bigger deal against us. They had 2 punt returns last week for 37. Against us, they had 3 punt returns for 44. So it's like it wasn't that drastically different when you look at the statistics. So why did we get beat by so much? one of the stats or two of the stats that I did see that were pretty significant was third down efficiency. Against us, they were at 54% efficiency rate on third down. And that's because of us allowing the run. Right? The Bengals did not allow the run. So you're putting them in these third and long situations, and it's much easier to stop them. And you're not as efficient creating these long drives, keeping the other offense off the field, killing momentum. So that is one factor as far as the statistic. Also, they played a clean game against us. They only had 2 penalties for 15 yards. And against the Bengals, they had 5 for 46. So against us, they played just a really clean game. But again, it wasn't a stat thing. It wasn't as if we just let up all the stats in the world. We couldn't turn them over. If anything, when you just look at the numbers, it looks like we did a better job as far as passing, rushing, turnovers against their offense. But here's some of the things that I saw that weren't on the stat sheet. The Bengals had no injuries. None of their key guys. No one was hurt. Their injury report going into it had 2 backups that were questionable that ended up playing. So nobody. They were healthy. The Ravens, on the other hand, Latavius Murray, their leading rusher outside of their quarterback, and Sammy Watkins both didn't play. Villanueva, their tackle, Bradley Bozeman, their center, Tavon Young, their corner, and Patrick Queen were all hurt. And they played, but they were all hurt going into that game. So that is a big deal. And I don't think that we looked at that enough going into last week's game. Is we are hurt, man. We have guys that are rookies, some of them undrafted, playing in really big positions for us. And it just could not get the job done up front. Obviously, without Justin Jones, you're out 2 linebackers. We're out our starting safety. It just gets really hard the deeper you go. And you hope that they can hold up a little bit, but that's just a big part of the NFL is being able to stay healthy. But it was just a weird game. And what I think against a good running team like the Ravens, you have to get on the scoreboard early. You have to affect their play calling. You have to force them to take more chances. They're not just going to run the ball every single play. They have to start taking some chances to score quick. And we weren't able to do that. We were 3 and out most of the first half. We were not really putting up anything as far as points. Whereas the Bengals, on the other half, they scored first. They put the pressure on them. They did not go 3 and out to start the game. So a lot of the difference between the two games was momentum stuff. It's just little things that aren't on the stat sheet. But as you watch the game, it's like, yeah, the Bengals had the momentum the whole game. In our game, we did not have the momentum one time. Not once did we have any type of, okay, now we're going to get on a roll and we're going to get going. As fans, we hope that we would. But yeah, so that to me, that was the biggest difference was one, momentum, which is not something you're ever going to see on a stat sheet, but we never had it. The Bengals had it pretty much the whole game. 2, against good running teams, you got to get on the scoreboard early, force them out of their comfort zone, make them take chances, and obviously stop what they're best at, which we couldn't do either. And then that third down efficiency is what Coach talked about in his press conference. In order to be good on third down, you have to be really, really good on first and second. And their third down efficiency against us was over half the time they were converting. So those are the things that it's just got to get healthy, man. You got to get healthy. You got to have momentum. You got to score early. And we weren't able to do that.
I think it's interesting. Like what you bring up is interesting because, there's a lot of time to interact with other fans and stuff on Twitter. And I've seen a lot of people kind of starting to lose their minds after this game because, the idea of comparing, we lost to the Ravens and they got blown out by this other team. Therefore, we must suck and not even be close to at the same level. Like that kind of mindset and that kind of thinking is very difficult and you shouldn't do because it's not good for your health. And I think that what you were just talking about, those little things hidden underneath there, it's the NFL. You never know what's going to happen week to week. So what are your thoughts on like comparing like this did this and then this affected this and then we can't beat them because we lost to them?
Well, the Raiders beat the Ravens and we beat the Raiders, so we should have beat the Ravens, but we didn't. Every week is so different. You have to show up and play your best game every week to win games, and that's hard to do over 17 games when injuries pop up and you're not the same team week to week. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have completely different lineups. We had 3 at every level of our defense. We have backups. The first 3 weeks of the season, we didn't have Chris Harris. Like, it's just a different team every single week. You got to win with what you got. You can't compare last week's like how you played to how you're going to play this week. It doesn't always work like that.
Right. And you're not always
I
playing at
concur.
home. You're playing in different stadiums, and this
Right.
one was played in Baltimore. Throw that on top of everything else. Well, there you go, folks. Coach taking a look at some of the stats and some of the unforeseen stats that we can't really break down 100%, but there's a lot of intricacies that obviously go into each and every game. And hopefully, after this bye week, playing at home in SoFi Stadium, we've got all of our I's dotted, T's crossed going against the New England Patriots, so we can just smack them right in the mouth. Just get, take it. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Certified fresh.
Certified fresh.
Certified fresh.
All right, folks. Now it's time to go on to our next segment. It is Fan Focus. Let's see who we are bringing into focus this week.
Ooh. All right, guys, we're back with another Fan Focus, and we're super excited to have Carl from Denmark. What is going on, Carl?
Nothing much. Nice to be here. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Awesome, man. Well, we're super pumped to meet you and chat with you. So I'm fascinated to find out how you from Denmark became a Charger fan. So how did you become a Charger fan?
I'd been aware of the NFL for some time, and we have to go back to 2007, and suddenly the network showing the NFL was a network I could see. So I turned on my first game, and it was a Chargers game, and I can't remember who they were playing. I saw LaDainian Tomlinson, and I hadn't ever really seen football, or American football as we call it, before. And I just thought, this guy has it. I'll support this team. And yeah, so I started following them that season, ending with that AFC Championship loss to Patriots, with Rivers playing through a torn ACL and LT sidelined. And I remember him standing on the sideline with his visor on. And yeah, so that was my first season. And it's been on and off since then, both because of the time difference, my studies, life in general, and because, they show maybe 3 games on TV and 3 on streaming in Denmark. So without a game cast, it can be hard to follow the Chargers, especially when it's not going well, because then they're not getting shown. But I really came back during last year's draft process and having to find a replacement from 17.
17, right up there. I feel you.
That brought some new life into it. I had the time because of the quarantine, and I was going in without a job. And I discovered YouTube, shows like your own, also all the American sports shows are like posted on YouTube. So I suddenly got really into football, because normally I'm you say soccer guy. Soccer is king in Denmark.
Sure.
I don't like calling it soccer, but here we are. So that's my normal thing, but I've been really getting into the Chargers these past 2 years or so.
Awesome. So what is it like to be a fan in Denmark? I can't imagine it's overwhelming amount of Charger fans, or maybe not even NFL fans. So what's it like being a Charger fan in Denmark?
I think there's a good NFL community, especially online. I have a Twitter group with other NFL fans where we talk the games on Sundays and stuff like that. But I don't have any big NFL fans in my immediate friend group or so. I think my stepbrother is a 49ers fan or something like that. But we don't really talk football, not that kind of football, at least. We talk the European version. It's lonely sometimes. And that's why shows like yours help a lot, because I feel like I find a community to maybe not talk things through with, but at least someone talking things through, and then I can listen and chime in on Twitter. So it's lonely, and it's late.
I'm sure. So what time are the games usually on? If you want to watch a normal Charger game, what time of the day is that for you?
I think most of them are at 10 in the evening.
Okay. So you're dang.
But being a West Coast team, there's also a lot of them that starts at 2 in the morning. And we had the Monday Night Football game against the Raiders. I had to watch the next morning, first thing, without opening Twitter and getting.
That's a good way to start the morning. That's a good way to get it going.
I went up early, turned on the Game Pass, which I've bought for the first time this year, so I can do that and watch the whole thing through, and sat alone cheering, and couldn't share my photos on Twitter as I normally do, because the game had already been played. But
that's awesome.
We imagined it happened, and great win.
That's awesome. Well, it's so cool that you're it sounds like your diehard fanness is very similar to ours, and we're closer to the team. So commend you for that for sure. So, what is something this year, you mentioned you got back into it last, draft. I'd imagine somebody in the first round had something to do with it. What are your thoughts on Justin Herbert and the kind of the team these last couple of years as a fan?
Yeah, Herbert is amazing. He's brought some new life to the Chargers, I think, and to all of us. I love Phillip Rivers. I love the old guard, if you can say so. But
yeah,
I think, like, for me at least, it maybe needed a breath of fresh air, and I think he's brought that. Some excitement. Because I think when you have the same thing for almost 20 years, it kind of gets not stale. I won't call Rivers stale, but it's a lot of the same things. And
sure.
I think what brought me in was the whole new aspect of something new is going to happen. What is going to happen? And that's why I started watching all these shows, discussing the draft, slagging on Herbert, and being not the biggest, what you call it. I'm not a coach,
sure.
by far. I think I was just listening to whatever people were saying and kind of jumping on the Tua train, but I was also like, I don't know, because I'm not an expert at all. Like, you can ask me about the European version of football and I will have all sorts of opinions. But the thing about giving opinions on the American football version is still new to me. And that's kind of the excitement as well, like getting really into it and discovering some new territory, I think.
Well, you're not far off. The guys that study it for, their careers had no idea Justin was going to be Justin. So don't feel bad about that.
No, there was a lot of negative takes about him. And I was just watching highlights. And, when you watch highlights as a guy who don't know the game that well, most people can look good, I think. So,
all right, well, let's get you out of here on this. We have a big game coming up Sunday against the team that destroyed us last year, the Patriots. So what are you most looking forward to? We've had the bye week. We've had a lot of time to think about what we want and what we hope this team will be this week. What are your thoughts on, what we need to do against this Patriots team?
I think be smart. I hate playing Bill Belichick. I hate playing the Patriots right from my first season as a fan. I just mentioned that championship game. I don't think I've ever seen the Chargers beat Patriots. I'm sure they have in the time between. I don't know, but yeah, you have to be smart. Don't get outcoached, and I hope to see the offense get back on the tracks going. Herbert throwing some bombs, putting some points on the table, and then hopefully tighten up that defense, especially against the run, because that's been our problem. And I think if we want to have any chance or dreams of going into the playoffs and maybe progressing through the playoffs, you need to get that under control, because there's some good run teams out there and some good run teams in the division. And we've seen that already. But against the Patriots, be smart, get Herbert going, tighten up the defense, and should be fine.
Sounds like a recipe for success to me. So let's do all of that.
I hope so, but I'm always nervous, especially against the Patriots.
Who knows?
This can't be anything else.
It's Staley's first chance, so let's see. It's his opportunity to kind of show all his Charger fans, what you got, man. Let's go beat up on this team that usually outcoaches us. So let's help
the new guard taking over from the old guard.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Carl. We really appreciate your time, man. It was so awesome meeting you, and man, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, and maybe see you sometime. And thanks for the show. I love it. Can't wait to see the episode tomorrow. And Kay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Damn, Carl, man, you hitting me right in the feels, dude. That was so sweet, dude.
Yeah, dude. Carl from Denmark. I just love, I keep saying it every time it happens, but meeting international fans is rad, because they have to be more intense, man, because they're by themselves most of the time.
You don't think about that.
Well, watching the games at all hours of the day and night, morning, and
I would say I'm a better fan because I have you two. Like, if you don't have If I don't have you two, how big of a fan am I really? I'm still a fan, but not like the crazy, insane level I'm at. So the fact that he's able to do that out there, that's pretty remarkable. So keep it up, all our International Charger fans. We love you. Keep that shit rolling.
Big time. That was a really sweet interview that you had there, Carl. We really appreciate that. All right. Well, now it's time to go on to our next segment. You know him, you love him. It's the Craig Experience.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh.
Craig Experience.
Hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Your CC gang. Big salute to the rest of the Bolt fam. Was good. It's your guy Craig in Texas coming to you with the post-bye week edition of the Craig Experience. Hope you guys are refreshed, rocked, and ready to go because it's time to get back to business. Got the Pats coming in town this week, and they just put up a 50-piece, albeit against the Jets. But nonetheless, hope the guys are ready and raring to go, and we get some healthy bodies back. It was fun kind of sitting back watching the rest of the NFL do what it does over the weekend. Saw some nasty games, man. It was blowout city on Sunday, and, kind of nice to see that we aren't the only ones. Take that for what it's worth. But a couple things I wanted to touch on today. We all know what the talk is around the Charger sphere, Twitterverse, Chargerverse, whatever you want to call it. Trade deadline's coming up. Will the Chargers be participants? And if history is any indication, they won't be, because that's not what Tommy do. I mean, if you follow me, you know my personal feelings on this. You look at the rest of the AFC West, which right now the Raiders sit atop, which is like by technicality. We had a bye. We have 2 wins in the division, and they're 1-1. So let them, enjoy it while they have it and revel in it for whatever it means to them for right now. They're going through a lot. So you got to let them have something for a little while. Let them enjoy themselves, albeit it'll probably be very short-lived. But the way that I feel about this is very simple. You've got the Chiefs reeling, which no one saw coming. Their defense is abysmal. You've got the Broncos having been shown to be pretenders. I mean, if you paid attention to the beginning of the year, you watched them play a bunch of not great teams, and then they got exposed. Kind of sort of like the Raiders last year, and to some degree at a point this year, but they've kind of rolled into a little bit of a streak, and they've also have the luxury of playing some not so great teams as well. But we can't really worry about that. We can only take care of what we can take care of. And I'm telling you, it seems really weird to me to come into a year, first of all, which most of us, and I'll speak for myself, I expected the team to maybe be a year away, just based on having new coaching, some of the new schemes that were being implemented, and it taking time for, the players to adapt, finding out who was going to actually remain on the team and who was going to step up and who was going to take a step back. Just kind of give an opportunity for the air to clear and for the right pieces and plans to show themselves. But then you get into the year and you find yourself 4-2 after a 6-game gauntlet, which not many people thought we would be successful in. I don't get how Telesco sits on his hands on this one. I mean, if the offseason is any indication, they got a new innovative coach. They implemented some new systems. They start looking at, strategies and statistics and things of that nature. They become, more so in that vein as opposed to the old guard, old school NFL, where it's just, hopefully 3 yards in a cloud of dust, grind it out and pass the ball when you gotta, coming from the Lynn regime. That's not what this team is now. If you were willing to make those changes in the offseason and take a huge step forward, having moved into a new market, looking to take this team in a different direction and build a fan base and have a new exciting brand of football, then you make all the necessary changes. I don't feel like it's very forward thinking I know it's not Tom's thing to be aggressive, but it's definitely not that to just sit back and assume that getting a bunch of healthy bodies back is going to cure what ails you. We know the run defense is a problem. That's not going to change. If you've been watching some of these games and you're looking at some of these AFC teams, Titans, the Bengals, which I mentioned to you guys last week, who just bludgeoned the Ravens, who kicked the crap out of us just last week, you know that there's going to be some serious competition there. It's not something that you want to take lightly. And you definitely don't want to just assume that getting some guys back, especially those that have proven injury track records, so you can't depend on them to actually be available full time. And you don't know what they're going to bring to the table for you once they are on the field. It's just not something that I would be willing myself personally as a GM to hang my hat on. I wouldn't be comfortable at all. And there are a lot of teams out there that are probably punting on the season at this point, well below 500. Some of them are one-win teams. Some of them have two, and their upcoming schedules look really rough. And they may be willing to, or at this point, they are looking forward to next year. And if they are, time has to be on the phone. It's just my thoughts. There's a lot of certified, used, high-quality stuff on a lot of other teams that the Chargers could take advantage of. And when you have the draft capital, as well as the actual salary cap to make the changes, you should be a player there. I mean, November 2nd is right around the corner. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Again, it's just not something that I would recommend doing. But I'll tell you what, if no changes do come, we basically can take our cues from upper management in regards to what they expect from the rest of the year. They're fine with whatever comes with what they have. I just don't think that's a recipe for winning in the NFL. It's not what a lot of the top teams have done. If you look at the last few Super Bowls, those teams, if they were missing a couple pieces, they went out and got it. And don't tell me that the Chargers aren't. I mean, one thing that they are lacking is great depth, but you don't want to have a team that if one or two guys go down in a particular spot, then you are in a bad way. And the Chargers have a couple of those spots. Offensively, Mike Willer-Keenan goes down, that's going to be an issue. The defensive line is already a problem. So imagine something happening to Joey. Hell, imagine something happening to the Big Goon. I'd rather not. But again, you have to be cognizant of all of these things. And you have to be willing to make moves where they're necessary. Tom has the ammo to get it done. Whether he will or not, who knows at this point? And I'm a person that believes in kind of looking to the past and seeing what someone is known for to get an idea of what they may be doing moving forward. And again, I wouldn't hold my breath about Tom making these moves, but the one little glimmer of hope I have is that they thought outside of the box in their coach hiring process this year, and they went away from what they typically do. So again, if that's any indication at all, there may be some moves coming up here within the next week or so. But keep my fingers crossed about it. And I think that if they do make those moves here or there in a couple spaces, you all know what they are. We're talking about a team that's not just ready to play meaningful football in the playoffs. We're talking about some guys that can make a run to be playing in that stadium in February, that home stadium in February. And some magic could happen. But you got to have the brass set, like Brandon, to get that done. Let's see if, Staley's huevos have rubbed off on Tommy Boy. But anyway, fellas, talk to me a little bit about where you stand with whether or not you believe the team should make moves or stick with what they have and depend on what's coming back. No judgment here. If you feel like they're going to ride it out with the horses they have and you think it's enough and you think the coaching is enough to push those particular guys over the hump, then cool. But be honest, what are your real expectations if that happens? So I guess two-part question. But anyway, All right, peeps. If you want to holler at your boy, you know how to get at me on the Twitter machine, TOP_FLYT3 down there. But until then, Pat's on deck. See you guys later in the week. Until then, you already know what it is. Bow ganger, do not bang. Holla at your boy. Okay, love you, bye.
Mr. Craig coming in with the heat. Hot
so
stuff.
Smooth, too, on that. Holla at your boy.
He made a lot of good points. You know what I mean? There is some depth issues there. There are concerns.
Absolutely.
Here's my hot take on what I think could happen. Because we have the game. We have Sunday, right? We have this game. We still have a couple days to make anything crazy happen.
Right.
I think the big one for me, the one that's the most glaring, that there really isn't anyone backing anyone up or anyone there, is Vizcaino. I think if he comes into this game Sunday and misses another extra point, or if he has a mediocre to slightly bad game, I think he's gone. And I think the one that makes the most sense is the Washington kicker that was just released.
Right.
Is it Dustin Hopkins? That makes the most sense. Like a very consistent kicker that for some reason they got rid of and picked a guy named Blewett, which is really funny.
Love that name.
That's the kicker's name that they have now. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not quite fully sure that the Staley's defense and what he's scheming and what he's doing has been fully realized yet.
Right.
I don't think everyone's reacting to last game where we just got destroyed because of, Ong Bong Bamiga, love that name, and Neiman were in there. When we really, our linebackers aren't playing what they need to do to be able to, fill in behind this defensive line that's not playing great. So, each level elevates the other, and I don't think those two levels are elevating each other right now. So, it's just a question of you talk about some of these guys that have injury concerns, like Hakeem Hicks, and do you want to bring in a guy that has injury? You mentioned injury concerns. You want to bring in guys with injury concerns. Is trading the best move right now? Like it's hard to say on that. I think it's very clear on the kicker. Yeah,
but the kicker doesn't need to be handled before the trade, because I don't think we're going to trade for a kicker. Like you said, if we pick somebody up, it's going to be a free agent guy that's been cut, that's sitting around on the couch right now, and that could be done at any point in the year. I think the only position that I think, as a fan, just a fan that watches the game, I want us to go add depth at every position.
Right.
I want us to get deeper always. That's not how the NFL works. It's not always every team goes out and buys every player. And I think a lot of that has to do with our ownership as well. That's their philosophy that's been consistent for always. But as a fan, I want us to go pick up a defensive tackle that can go fill in. Doesn't have to be an every down guy, but somebody that can go and be serviceable more than what we have right now. So that's what I want. Do I think it'll happen? No, I really, really don't. I think that we're going to go with what we got. I think this bye week was the time for them to assess. Like Coach said, that's what they're going to do. They're going to scout themselves and see where they can get better. They went and made a move. I just don't see another move coming. I want us to, for sure. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, there's no track record to show that it will. I'm hesitant, and I'm hesitant to establish this idea that if we don't, everyone's going to be pissed off.
Right. It's just because we had a shitty game, dude. Like
that's right.
Now, and we've all been sitting in that stew for 2 weeks because we didn't have a chance to get better after to fix it yet.
And granted, we've had a bad run defense for many a weeks. Like this isn't news, but we just had a really bad, and we were winning those games. Like we won those games.
Right.
So I think I'm just scared of the narrative within our fan base that if somebody doesn't pull the trigger, if Tommy doesn't go out and do something now, we're going to be, every time there's a bad run defensive game, everyone's going to be losing their GD minds, which but just got to manage expectations and manage your fandom. Like I have to do it all the time.
Yeah, I think both of you make excellent points, and I think I agree that I think the kicker is the biggest point of need as far as shoring that up. And at the very least, Staley mentioned that all options are on the table. Like they haven't.
That's the most
shut
clear
that door.
path,
right? He's at least letting us know that like we're going to still stick with this guy, but we're not, we're not digging in and saying no to no other extra kicker. Like all options are on the table in that regard. So at least in that way, I do feel somewhat assured in that position. But as far as making pickups or trades with other teams, like I don't know who. I focus on the Chargers, and so I don't have my fingers in any of the other teams right now as far as who they're willing to give up or willing to trade or who's on that bubble. I see you smirking over there, Kevin. And you dirty
Keep your fingers to yourself.
So I don't know. I'd rather just let them. I'd rather not even worry about that shit. Like, just let the people that make the big money worry about who they're going to trade and who they're going to pick up, and just let it be like Christmas morning every morning. And if you see something, if you see a move, great. And if not, you know what? Christmas is always
that's
next
a fun
year.
That's a fun fan perspective. But then there's also fans that really want to like see shit happen. They want to move and shake. Like
they want to make the call. They want to be like, 8-ball corner pocket.
Yeah.
See, what did I say? 8-ball
like
corner pocket. Like,
it's like those the fantasy football managers who go into the waiver wire and pick up 4 guys a week and get rid of a kicker that was average. He was like, let's spice shit up.
Right.
Let's see. Let's give them time, because we're not seeing all the shit they're seeing at practice. We've been down with some guys. So I know there's like zero confidence in Justin Jones from what I'm hearing from a lot of people, but I think got to let that play out a little bit more, I think, before you go full ham and go crazy, which is tough because the deadline is very close.
It's getting closer every day. But I think you're right also that Staley's defensive vision just hasn't been fully realized yet. And I think these guys, again, we're still dealing with a first-year coach on this team. And to have the success that we have, in my opinion, let's just be happy with that. And let's let these guys improve week after week, getting this system completely realized. Because, even still, Staley is still working with guys from the previous regime that might not have been guys that he would have necessarily wanted on the team. So he's working with what he's got.
Sure.
So, names like Pipkins.
On the reverse side, this is an opportunity for you to go get a guy that you think fits your scheme.
Yeah.
But, and that's the thing. So I think with Telesco getting a guy like Staley, I think, I think Craig is right. And let's see if Staley can rub off on Telesco in any way, shape, or form, and trying to be a little bit more aggressive and maybe making those different kind of changes.
What did he say? Rub his balls off?
If his big cojones have rubbed off on Telesco.
Rubbing balls.
We'll see if that has
someone
any
that needs to be rubbed off on is the Spanos. That's the issue. They need some cojones.
They need something rubbed on them. I don't know if it's balls or what, but
cash,
hey,
just money, a lot of money.
But I think these are all great points. I think everybody should, just let whatever happen. But if you want to make
fun discussion, like it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun discussion for sure.
Yeah,
it's the best kind of discussion we can have because we're 4-2.
Right.
This time last year, we were like, "Oh my God, the sky's falling!" Like, there were so many things to bitch about. Now
we were trading guys off because of this. Desmond King, we let go. We moved guys because
we were getting draft capital for these guys. So,
it's nice to be on the other side.
It is nice to be on the other side. So, if nothing happens, don't lose your mind. I think I think we still have yet to see this team play as well as it potentially could with the guys that we have. So. Let's see what happens. I think the Patriots game is going to be a big game to see if we actually have that talent or not. But Craig, my man, thank you as always, Craig. Every week coming on.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. And now it's time to go on to the next segment. It's Ask Boltfam. We're already an hour in. Here we go.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys.
Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do.
I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, folks. It's time for Ask Boltfam. A lot of you folks showed out even on a bye week. Can't believe it. Let's start this one off with Boltaholic, who asked the question. It might be certified
fresh.
Might be.
I would just like to say you guys are dope and make work go by faster. Keep it up, fam. Well, thank you, Boltaholic.
Thanks, Boltaholic. Picking up what you're putting down. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no, we like to make days go by faster, especially work days.
Yeah,
of all days.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
appreciate you reaching out. And we just opened it up to Instagram. So we're going to start asking for Ask Boltfam questions on Instagram. So if you're an Instagrammer, you don't have the Twitters, you don't have the Reddits, you can do it on the Instagram.
You don't have the YouTubes.
If you're not
we have
on the
so
line.
many avenues, so many highways to ask us questions. We even opened up another one.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because we don't get enough questions every week.
All roads are
it's
leading
always
to Ask Boltfam.
It's always bottom of the barrel every week.
It's like 400 of these things.
I know,
I
right?
love it.
Boltaholic, thank you for asking
Thanks,
the question. Moving on now to Senora Snappy, who asked the question. Hey, guys, what did you all do for the bye week blues? Kay, love you, bye. She asked for my most well-rested voice.
You
'cause I have
sounded
to
very
keep it in
rested
reserve.
there, Will Dog.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm still
she's
minorly...
She's
yeah.
looking out for you, though. She wants you
She
rested
is.
so you can be ready to go for the Pats.
I know. Yeah. Hooray. Yeah. If I'm not losing my voice, getting a sore throat, or having a major head cold, I can't. I haven't been able to win. So I'm still slightly under the weather, but progressing in the right direction, just like Kenneth Murray.
Snap at him.
Just like Kenneth Murray.
Just like Kenneth Murray.
So what did you guys do for the bye week?
Kevin, were you a good dad?
I was actually a pretty good dad.
Good
We had
papa?
an ultimate game of ultimate wrestling match. Not gonna lie, some minor concussions happened.
Oh dear.
There's my 2-year-old.
There's some protocols going on.
Black eye. When you get 3 boys that are 6'4" and 2, and they're
Wait.
all wrestling on top of each other, there's gonna be an elbow. There's
gonna
gonna
You
be
just
a
say
punch.
your 2-year-old has a black eye?
A little one, but he's had them before. He's got
It's a
brothers. What do you
2-year-old
want
size
from
black
us?
eye.
I didn't do it. I didn't punch him in the face.
I elbowed him, all right?
One of his brothers elbowed him in the face. That's what happens.
What do you want him to do?
Yeah, dude. He's coming in low. Low man wins. And the
Wow.
big boys don't like that. So throwing some pros. But hung out with them, dude. And I went and saw Dune. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah,
So
nice.
That was my bye week.
Awesome. Did you do anything special, Kyle?
No, I just hung out with the fam. My son's second birthday was this weekend, so we had a little party
nice.
for him at my parents.
The tank.
Yeah, and just we hung out with the family. It was nice to be able to low stress weekend. No one had to get upset emotionally on Sunday except for my brother-in-law because he's a Bears fan, and they got this.
Oh yeah, they got
Yeah, they
by
got
the
slapped
Bucks.
around.
They got
Oh man, that
reamed.
was hard to
Sorry.
watch with them. I
Sorry,
felt bad.
Ty.
Sorry, Ty.
Yeah, Bears got reamed and the Ravens got reamed. So all the in-laws got smacking it
Yeah,
around.
suck that, Rad.
Take that, Bradley. Take your peas with you.
Yeah, I pretty much just took it easy too, dealing with this head cold. So just kind of relaxed. But I did go to a movie. I saw Halloween Kills. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I thought that was it was fun. I thought it
There's
was
a lot of murders in that movie.
There is a lot of death, and evil dies tonight.
Well, there's some such
That's like
moments in that movie.
that's like a drinking game. I think you should take a shot every time they say evil dies tonight.
Wow, love it.
So yeah, we all just kind of took it easy there, Senora Snappy. But thank you for checking
Thanks
in
for
with us.
thinking of us. We
Appreciate
you.
that. Hopefully, I think the turnout over at the Carl Strauss over that event, I think went really good. I think the guy that was running it, the manager,
he's a Charger fan. So
Yeah.
they're everywhere, man. They're
I
everywhere.
love it. You love to see it. All right, let's move it on now to Tweet Me Up Scotty,
Scotty, so
who
tall.
asked the question.
He's so tall.
Who's on top of the Charger Chat Fantasy League right now? Has Wolldog claimed his vengeance yet?
I suck.
Not.
I suck.
We all suck. We're all doing terrible.
Who's the least sucky of us?
I think Kevin actually, or no, it's either Kevin or
suck,
Kyle.
dude.
I can't
There's
remember.
No way.
I've lost. I won like the first 3 and lost the next like 4.
I think
Let's see,
you're
because
on.
I think
I'm
I
looking
just
right now.
won my game today against Randy, which I feel bad for Randy. He's not having a good
Kyle.
season.
Oh yeah, Kyle's won. He's in 5th place. I'm in 8th place, and Wolldog is scraping the bottom at 11th place.
But I just got to win, so I might. Did you win this last one here, Kev?
No, I
you
definitely
didn't. So we're gonna have the same record. And Kyle, did you win? Kyle didn't win either. So I think we're all gonna have the same record here.
We're all gonna be 3 and 4.
We're all gonna be 3 and 4
suck.
here.
I started
so-
Sam Darnold over Ryan Tannehill because I'm dumb and I'm on bye week and I'm just
Sam
stupid.
Darnold got
Negative
benched.
0.5 points for me this week. So it's good we don't do a fantasy football podcast because that would be some
We
shit.
know nothing.
That would be terrible. Yeah,
I know
play-
a lot about football. I suck so bad at fantasy football. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how fantasy football works. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know.
How
questioning
fantasy football
everything.
works. Yeah, I think I play Kevin next week, so that'll be an interesting to see how
But
that fantasy
no
goes.
Dave Duggan vengeance. Yeah.
No, week 12. Week 12 is my opportunity to try to win.
Dude, I might trade you some players to try to take down my
Yeah,
dad.
dude. Let's
Well,
do some trades.
Well, so on the upside, week 12, Chargers play Denver. So I think Herbert and Keenan
yeah,
Allen
good week.
can
with Chargers.
just crush them. Just
Here's the thing. I
smack
will
the shit
gladly,
out of
I would
them.
happily lose to you this week if you can bring home a Patriots win. Okay? I mean,
Okay.
a Patriots. Oh, shut up.
Oh,
Patriots lost.
winning against the Patriots. The Patriots.
Oh,
your little
win
Herbie
against-
is shaking his head right now.
Jesus Christ.
He just went Chucky. He's gonna kill you.
He's
A
gonna
slip
kill
that I'll
you.
never forget.
All right.
No,
We'll never
I don't
let
want
you.
that. I want you to bring. If you bring home a Chargers win, I will literally resign this week. I'll resign it.
Sounds good. There you go, Scott Radalski. That's our fantasy update. Thanks for asking the question.
We all suck. Thanks a lot for bringing.
Yeah,
it
we
up.
all suck. We're all 3-4 right
Yeah.
now. So yeah.
There's $100 down the drain.
I need to work on my defensive front.
Yeah. Let's move it on now to Ashley Bolt Up, who asked the question.
Certified fresh.
Hey guys, what do you think of our new signing, Andre Roberts? How much of an impact will he make on special teams? Also, random thought of mine, I think Kyle looks more like a Kevin, and also Kevin looks more like a Kyle. Okay, love you, bye.
Who's she trying to diss? I think you.
I think she's complimenting
dissing.
you.
I've heard
For
this
sure.
more than once that like, oh, I thought Kevin was Kyle and Kyle was Kevin.
Weird.
Huh. I don't know if that's a compliment.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Kevin. I'm older. He's younger.
Yeah,
Well, there
it's
you
weird.
go.
I don't know.
Alpha, beta.
Well, and you both apparently look like you're 5'1", so
I know.
We're both 6 foot, so
Towering
Just
6.5 to 6 3/4, depending on who's on their tippy toes
I
in
think
pictures.
they
to
just
out-tall
think
the
that
other one.
legs just stick out from under your chest, and that's
Yeah,
it.
they're
That's all
just
there
right
is.
down here.
tiny little legs. Yeah, just these.
And then the Andre Roberts. What?
I'm excited.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Totally
Yeah.
pumped.
That's an upgrade. However you look at it, that's an upgrade to what we currently have. That's
Right.
good. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm excited for
So
the first
exciting.
kickoff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that first kickoff, we're all going to be, everybody's going
What
to
if
be
he
leaning
takes
forward
it-
in their seats going, yeah,
What if he takes it to
And-
the fucking house, boys?
dude,
Chase
that'll be an
positive,
omen.
baby.
That'll be an omen right there. That like, it's going to happen. All right, there you go. Ashley, while my
Thanks, Ashley.
guys think about French fried potatoes, let's move it
I'm
on
pretty
to
sure
the
you're
next
certified
one.
fresh.
Okay.
pretty
Let's move it on to Rough Cut V1.
Oof. Got a filmmaker vibe.
Certified fresh?
Certified. I think maybe.
Oh my God.
We need to
Why
cut
do we
this
do
segment.
this?
I know. Cut it. Cut it.
Rough Cut V1.
He's certified.
Who asked the question?
I know 2/3 you ain't going to the game, but let's hear what Halloween costumes you'd ideally wear. How much does Roberts cost us? Was watching highlights today, and I'm stoked to see what he can bring us. And lastly, what are the odds TT makes another move before the deadline?
This is Daddy Pig from Peppa Pig. Dude, that was spot on.
Was it?
I have to watch that.
I haven't watched
I have to watch that crap all day long. Somehow Peppa Pig has like figured out the YouTube algorithm. 'Cause
Oh,
no matter
shoot.
what YouTube video my kid watches, the next show to come up is a Peppa Pig video every single time. And that was Daddy Pig,
Well, that
100%.
Daddy Pig.
So
Holy
on
shit.
point.
All right. So, first question: Halloween costumes you'd ideally wear. I got to say, because I've seen pictures of Kevin and his family, your Halloween pictures are always like really well themed. Like you guys have like a theme and you stick to it and you kill it. Do you have plans for this year?
Here's the problem. My 3 kids decided to go fucking all over the place. So Like there's no consistency whatsoever across the board.
Oh dear.
We've got Chase, a Paw Patrol. We've got an astronaut, and we've got Sonic the Hedgehog.
I love it. I love it. Hodgepodge.
Yeah, and I think my wife and I are going as Ted Lasso in the Beard.
Coach Beard. Ted Lasso's good.
Josie with the mustache, and I'm going to be Coach Beard.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was Baby Yoda the other day at a party we went to.
I want to see what that looks like.
It was pretty funny. I just had the Baby Yoda hat on, and I was just like in all like normal clothes, but I was Baby Yoda. That's pretty good.
Baby Yoda in street clothes.
I feel like that's what I would do if I went to the Charger game on Halloween. I would wear my Charger jersey, and then I would have a hat or a mask or something like that on. Probably Baby Yoda because the Force. He's the child. The chosen one.
You know what the easiest costume is if you're going to the game?
What's that?
Headband. If you got hair, if you got decent hair,
or a wig and a headband.
Wear your
what are you trying to
jersey.
say?
Or get a wig. Get a wig.
What are you
please, Adam, please have a blonde wig.
Get a blonde wig and just wear your Herbert jersey just with the thing holding it over. That's it.
Come on.
Done.
And shave your beard.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, why not?
Hey, you can just have like the little beard with the little.
The one iconic thing about me, the little hair that I have, you son of a bitch.
Sorry,
I do have a plan for the game for Halloween. I don't know if I should say it or not, or if it should be a surprise.
Whisper it to us.
Just cut it. We'll let you know if you should cut it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut that. Let that be a surprise.
Okay. All right. Well, the boys said I should not say. So you guys will just have to wait and see.
Good.
You have to wait and see.
Just whisper into the mic. They won't be able to hear you. Just say it. Just
no. They'll see it on. We'll post it on Twitter and Instagram, and
doing
the boys will
Thunderstruck.
see it. Yes, doing Thunderstruck. Absolutely.
You bring that.
As
shit.
I'll dude. If I could get the whole plane,
dude,
to do Thunderstruck.
Do it.
No,
or
way.
Thunderstruck on an
pilots.
airplane.
Just the pilots.
Yeah, they'll let me in the pilots. Yeah, I'm sure they're. What are you talking about?
Get up there, Wooly.
Duh.
Sounding on the door.
Chat.
Do Thunderstruck.
And then he doesn't make it to the game.
Yeah. I won't make it. I won't make it home.
You will get arrested.
Or find an awesome Uber driver and make him do it with you.
Oh, I might do that. Okay. All right, let's keep it moving here because this guy asked 3 questions. How much did Roberts cost us? I didn't see a dollar.
It was like
amount.
1.2 million. Something.
Oh, I didn't see. Let me see really quick.
We'll go with the 1.2. I think that's fair.
Onesie twosies, but I think I think it was a onesie twosies, 1.2s.
Okay.
Could be wrong. Probably am. We'll go with that though.
All right, and then the odds TT makes another move before the deadline.
I got it at 10%.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it like a 10%
1 out of
for
10.
Sure. Yeah, 1 out of 10 shot that's going to happen.
I think that's fair considering his history and
I think if we play
this weekend is going to determine a lot.
Yes.
I think. Yeah,
they might have something lined up and decide to pull the trigger
Just waiting
if we're
after the
struggling
game.
somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Or somebody gets hurt, or another team loses that was trying to deal a guy, and now they really want to deal the guy. There's a lot that can happen on Sunday that could affect Tuesday's deadline.
Big time. So there you go, Rough Cut V1. Thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to T. Koenig, who asked the question.
The Herbert dog.
Hey, CC gang. I have a question for you guys. This season, our kicker has gotten a lot of hate for missed kicks. One thing I've noticed is that the line for the kicking unit seems to give up some pressure, which may be why Viz has been missing kicks. Is this something you guys have noticed, or am I seeing ghosts? All in all, the kicking game has certainly been a disappointment. Do you think the line is part of the problem, or just Vizcano? Thanks, guys. Bolt up.
I think you're onto something. I did watch this.
It's a
I did
possibility.
watch some of these kicks. Honestly, like the right side of the line, he's getting a lot of pressure over there, and I think they saw that early on, and they're bringing more because he's pulling these. He's really missing these kicks.
Right,
These aren't
yeah.
like doinkers. These are fully missing these kicks. So there's maybe that's something in the back of their mind. Is like, we shore this up, it'll help his confidence, and then he's not going to miss these easy, extra points.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we haven't had one blocked yet.
No.
Don't get in your own head. Like, okay, there's pressure. There's always going to be pressure.
We're talking about kickers,
Right.
Kyle. They're in their heads.
That's it's so dumb. There's pressure on every player on every play every game. Like that's just what the NFL is.
Right.
If you can't kick because you think someone's going to block it, then you're not an NFL kicker. Get out of the league. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not giving you an excuse for why you're shanking because there's pressure. Like, not one has been blocked yet. He's just shanked them all. So, yeah, figure it out, dude. I like the shameless positivity, trying to give our player an out, but I'm not going to side on that. I think he just needs to start.
Kyle hates kickers.
I hate kickers.
He's said it before. That's the truth.
All right. Well, there you go, T. Koenig. We gave it a lot of thought and we gave you a solid answer.
We gave you a lot of emotion.
Yeah. Kyle's pissed.
Yeah.
Let's move it on now to LA Chargers fan.
Certified fresh.
That's the question. Wow. What effort. How do we fix the run defense? One more thing. I've been arguing with some people, but KFC, Popeyes.
The way you said Popeyes.
Popeyes. Got a fever. The only prescription. There's more Popeyes.
Popeyes. I'm going to go. I don't eat at either of these places very often because I have a Chick-fil-A and I'm a Chick-fil-A guy. But I will say KFC went all ham and all in on that fried chicken sandwich that the breading was made out of chicken one year.
Right. Yes,
remember that shit?
That
takes some Staley balls to pull something like that off. That thing was like 5,000 calories. So
can you imagine the marketing team? Like
somebody was high when they did that. Somebody was super high when they did that.
What if we took 2 chicken pieces made together sandwich out of I would say KFC because I enjoy every commercial with a different kernel. Like John Goodman or the late Norm Macdonald, I think was one of the best kernels.
He was good.
Daryl Hammond. There's been some really solid kernels in those commercials.
I like how we all avoided the first question because we don't know the answer to it.
We don't.
No, I went straight to the chicken.
We went straight to KFC, Popeyes.
Just went straight to KFC or Popeyes because that's that's the question everybody
We're
wants.
We're like, run defense. I don't know. KFC though. I can get down on some original recipe.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. Although Chargers does support the Popeyes chicken. They're always doing the questions out of the Popeyes box. So, but there's pros and cons with both.
But Popeyes got popular recently because they're going after Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich. And apparently it's good, but I know it's a copycat league and everything, but come on. Chicken.
Copycat league.
Come on.
The chicken league.
Pull it together.
I mean, as far as like an attempt at an answer for the run defense, obviously Staley said he's got to try to get these, he's taking the blame himself. Hopefully get the scheme and execution get better. Yeah.
D-line not getting pushed off the ball and linebackers filling in and making plays. That's what we need to happen. It needs to happen on the first, second down. Kyle, I was about to say the high five.
Wow.
High five.
Good job, Kevin.
Thanks.
Both hit me in the face.
I felt like a coach there for a second.
Sorry, Adam.
That's okay. LA Chargers fan, thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to Daniel Llewellyn.
Not certified fresh.
Nah,
not at all.
Who asked the question?
Old.
What's up, bro? Chachos. Okay. So, like, who do you think the single biggest addition will be from players coming back from injury? And who's the wide receiver versus cornerback matchup this week you're most excited for? All right, okay, later on.
Let it
All right.
I think I'm most excited to see Justin Jones back from injury. I don't know. It's just like there's a lot of expectation, a lot of like I think free agency moves here before the trade deadline. Or not free agency, but trade moves before the deadline is dependent on how he plays. So I'm excited to see how he does. And then I don't know. I feel like we have 2 number 1 receivers, so it's like whoever they try to double, I'm excited to see how the other one does.
Right.
Because I think it's just like a pick your poison type of a attack for us.
Good could be a good answer is your former high school teammate. He's not a cornerback. He is a linebacker.
Calvin Oy, yeah.
Kyle did play with Van Noy in high school.
Yeah.
So give us the scouting report. What do we know? What do we need to know about him?
After how long have you been out of high school now?
How did he do? What was his grades like?
What did he bench?
He's a stud. He's really good. Obviously, he plays for the Patriots. I think he's won like 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, stud. But It is always fun to watch him play. I hope he plays well and they get smoked by us. But yeah, that'll be a good matchup to see how he does in coverage against our tight ends and Austin Eckler, because he plays middle linebacker. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited to see because Belichick is a defensive guy. That's who he is. So to see who he decides to take away, whether that be Keenan or Mike, and who he allows to try to make big plays. So it's always fun to see who they're going to try to take away, and right away by the stat sheet who they decided to take away.
Yeah, because they just recently let go of Stephon Gilmore, who was a cornerback, one of their main cornerbacks for quite a while. So it'll be interesting to see who they have protecting either Keenan or Mike. But I'm actually more excited to see Drew Tranquill come back, because I think he brings so much more to the team. He brings that leadership mentality, as well as just at that linebacker position. We got to get, I love Neiman and I love Rumpf and Ogbongbemiga, but man, we need one of those guys back in there, and Tranquill, I think, is going to be that big help.
Let's just make this a buffet. I'll just say Nas Adderley. We'll do all three of them. Let's do it.
Bring them all back.
Let's bring them all.
All right. So there you go, Dan. Appreciate you asking the question. Always good to hear from you. We move it on now to Juan Gonzalez,
Certified Fresh,
who asked the question.
How much of an improvement would having Justin Jones back be? Also, does the coaching staff see something we're not seeing with Merrill? He's looked pretty solid against the run.
I think we're all thinking it's going to be a big upgrade to get Justin Jones back.
I think that's what the consensus was. He was penciled in to be a starter, before he got hurt. So, you'd only assume that, right?
Right. I mean, because I feel like Merrill played in this game against Baltimore, right?
He got limited. They're not playing him very much, and I'm not quite sure why.
Well, he had 3 snaps against the Raiders. And then I don't even, he probably had something similar. So it's like
2 or 3 or something small.
Yeah. To say that he's had a great defense against the run, we just don't know. His sample size is so small. I feel like it's almost like a Tyron Johnson situation where we saw the guy flash in a couple of plays, and in our mind, that's what's burned in. And we think he's this great player that's going to make the world of difference. When in reality, that might not be the case. Like, I love the story of Forrest Merrill. I hope he gets some more opportunities, but there is a reason why he was an undrafted free agent, and there's a reason why he's not playing a lot. Our coaches aren't just saying, hey, we're not going to play you, even though we know that you would be revolutionary for our defense. We know
you're the key to unlocking this whole defensive scheme.
We're going to hold off, though.
I'm going to put you in my back pocket until I'm ready to bust you out.
Yeah, and believe me, like, I've been thinking, like, hey, give him a shot. Like, what we have is not getting the job done.
How much worse could it possibly get?
Right. So give him a shot and let's see if he can get the job done. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Justin Jones is the reason we didn't go after free agents in the offseason. You know what I mean? Like, we all thought D-line, okay, we're shifting to this 3-4. We need different guys in there. And we didn't go after anyone this whole offseason because of Justin Jones, is what it seems like. So it has to be a huge step up from what our coaching staff believes. So we'll see. We'll see if it pays off.
There you go. Juan Gonzalez, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Coach Lago, who asked the question. First off, shout out to my dude Efren Abarca for CC Gang hookup on Tix for this weekend. First time taking the wifey to SoFi Stadium. Second, what key on each D and O is most important to exact revenge on the Pats from the embarrassment of last year? Okay, love you, bye.
I think offense is easy. Herbert's got to cook. Like, Herbert's just got to be. The Patriots didn't see Herbert last year. They saw something else. And last week we didn't see Herbert. So let's all see some Herbert.
See some Herbie, Hollywood Herbert.
And anytime you play Mac Jones type, a rookie quarterback, you want to get pressure on him. You want to see what he does when you get in his face and force him to make throws that are not comfortable. Close up that pocket, make him. Oh, what did I say?
No, it's not what you said. It made me think. There is a photo floating around. I think I'm 99% positive it's of Mac Jones, and he's got this like frightened look on his face, like like trying to like throw the ball, and it's just like, oh, it's just Ooh, chef's kiss, like delicious, so good. Like, obviously, I think he's not prepared, at least not from that picture, for that type of pressure from some of the defenses. And so, if our defense can be fully healthy, getting some of these guys back, obviously, should make a big key difference in winning against the Pats. So,
100%.
And hey, Efren, thanks for taking care of Coach Lago.
Helping
Appreciate
out the
that,
boys,
big guy.
Boys helping out boys.
That's right.
Go.
CC gang hooking each other up. Love it. Thank you, Coach Lago, for asking the question. Moving on now to Okie Doggy, who asked the question.
Do you think special teams is where we may have to win the game against the Pats? And do you think Staley has Herbert in his office reviewing defenses just like Bill Belichick did with Tom Brady all those years ago?
Yeah, I think special teams is where we got our ass kicked last year against the Patriots.
Yeah,
we had like blocked punts, return kicks.
Yeah,
it's just like we talked about with the difference between our game against the Ravens and the Bengals against the Ravens is momentum. We had none because of special teams in that game last year. So 100%. I think we kick the ball through the end zone every single kickoff if we have the opportunity, and we take knees, and you just nullify special teams. Don't let them be a difference maker. Don't let it and take it charge of the game, because we're just not there. We don't have that yet. We're not going to win games on special teams. That's just not what our team is right now. So we just need to try to nullify it somehow and go and beat the Patriots on offense and defense, because I think we can do that.
Sounds like a solid plan.
Let's go.
Thank you for asking the question, Okie Doggy.
But
Moving
yes,
on.
I also think they are in the office
100%.
together watching film.
Yeah. Because the difference between Belichick and our coach is our coach was a quarterback.
Right.
And he has that two-way knowledge of defense and offense to be able to help him. So without a doubt, I think Staley's doing it.
100%.
Absolutely. And if Herbert has any trash to throw away, he's making every shot.
Swish
every shot. Thank you for asking the question, Okie Doggy. We move on now to Z the King 1, who asked the question. Have your views on the game versus the Patriots this coming weekend changed in light of how well the Patriots played yesterday? What are your keys to victory? That's my best Shaq.
Shaq, you requested Shaq.
Yeah, it's for Shaq. I'll give you Shaq.
They haven't changed. Like, they weren't doing this the weeks preceding it. So this is, the Jets getting hurt. Their quarterback getting hurt. Now I hear they're bringing in Joe Flacco. That's how desperate that team is.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that we last episode was called Outlier. I think this might have been their outlier. This is a weird last 2 weeks of the NFL. There's like blowouts and weird games.
Right.
I don't think that team necessarily is indicative of what we're going to see on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I always have a high view of the Patriots because of their coaching.
Right.
I don't think there's ever a game where I'm like, the Patriots are going to get smoked. They're all like, it feels like they're always in the game, even if they don't win it, even with the quarterback transition. So,
right. Yeah.
I think with the Chargers history of the Patriots, I don't think you can have a low view of that franchise. So, yeah, I'm excited. I think we have the team to be able to beat them this year for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be a good
like
game.
I said, since 2008. So let's get that.
We are due. So there you go, Z the King 1. Thank you for asking the question. We move on now to Unanimous, who asked the question.
Well, shoot. I was going to talk a lot of shit on Telesco and his inability to make moves in the season to be successful, a la Bucks, Cardinals, Patriots, Chiefs, etc. But in the spirit of positivity, I won't.
You already did.
But I will ask each of you, what has been the best or one of the best memories of your careers? Bolt up, motherfuckers.
That is the most shamelessly positive way to talk to say
talk shit.
How you really feel.
Slapping a kiss.
He
Yes.
found a loophole. That was impressive.
All right. Well, the question is, best or one of the best memories of your careers. It's weird to think of this as a career.
Yeah.
As this or as like work career?
I don't know. You heard the question the same as I did. I don't have an answer to that.
Let's all agree on that. What do we think?
I think it's our fan careers.
Okay.
Careers as a fan.
Sure. For me, it's the Cleveland game. That's the highlight.
That's already
for
up
me.
at the top.
That's
of the
already
list
up
now.
at the top of the list. Absolutely. That shootout of a game, absolutely best moment.
Nice.
It's sad that you two weren't there, but best moment.
I think
you weren't there for mine either.
That's fine.
Yeah, you weren't there. Well, I think mine is a weird one because it's just so vivid. Is the beating? This is the 2018 season where we beat the Chiefs and like with that 2-point conversion.
Oh,
Williams.
yeah.
And I was in
That's a
London
good
and I
one.
lost my mind in a hotel.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was all by myself, and I still remember exactly how that all went down that night. So I think that just was sticking power, landing power. Like I remember that game so well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably mine.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I think what was it? Was it Kevin, the year that me, you, and Dad went to the game at the Q against the Chiefs? 2013?
13, yeah.
I think it was 2013. And I remember vividly Kevin and Dad went up and were walking the concourse because they couldn't watch the kick at the end of regulation. And the Chiefs just completely doinked it and missed the field goal. We went into overtime. Phil took them down and beat them. And we made it into the playoffs because of that game. But I just remember that was so much fun. Especially the Q has a lot of childhood memories and where I became a Charger fan. So that one is very much burned into my career.
All right. Well, there you go. Unanimous. Thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to Bolt Dude 8407.
I'm going to go out on the limb here. Certified fresh.
Who asked the question?
Oh, hi, guys. KC clearly isn't the same team as last year. This is our division to lose, boys. Let's go, Bolts. Oh,
oh boy.
Oh, boy.
I love it. And that's the best question we've ever had.
Yeah.
Casey's not it this year, man. Let's go win it.
Clearly not. You can't say that they had one bad game. Like,
nah.
They've had a few bad games.
We killed them.
Yeah.
Ever since we beat them, they've just been on a landslide.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle it anymore. Yeah. It's so weird seeing all these Chiefs fans. I live right in the middle of them, man. I mention all the time, like they're falling apart. They're falling apart.
They don't know what's going on.
Because a lot of, dude, there's so many bandwagon fans that like these, like,
oh, sure. Yeah.
Younger fans that got on board when they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And these fans have never experienced anything but like 2 lost seasons.
Right. Yeah.
And now they are falling apart. And I'm not going to say I'm enjoying it,
but you are.
But I kind of am.
A little bit of Schadenfreude there for sure.
I'm not going to say it, but I will.
All right. There you go. Bolt Dude 8407. Thanks for making the observation. We appreciate that.
We accept all observations here.
All observations here at Charger Chat will not be turned away. Let's move it on now to C Densley 11, who asked the question.
A handful of teams might be going into fire sale mode soon. What struggling teams around the league have pieces the Chargers should make a move for, and who would you target? Should we pay up for a position of need or find low-cost depth for insurance as we come off the bye and make our playoff push?
Well, there's some really bad teams out there, like what do we have? The Lions are
Jaguars,
0-7, Jaguars, Dolphins are 1-6, like
Giants.
And are we talking about like full blown 4-star? Like these are our best player, kind of acquisitions? Or are we talking about kind of more stronger backups than what we have? I think that's the question. I don't think Telesco's like a go out and grab somebody huge.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking for star players.
Trade.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
cost depth, I think, would be the call.
Yeah, those insurance people that you mentioned there, I think that's going to be the one. Or I've seen some trade talks about possibly somehow getting Younghoe Koo back from Atlanta, which I just don't see how that could even possibly happen.
You let him go and then you give up a huge draft capital for a kicker, or a huge for a kicker, not like a first round pick, but you're going to give up something to get the guy that you let go back.
Right. Well, I've seen some people say we'll give him Trey Pipkins for
Younghoe. I would absolutely do that.
100%.
Sign me up.
I don't know.
Younghoe, because he's perfect. He is absolutely perfect on the season.
Right. So, but I don't know why Atlanta would give that up. Give up their starting.
Maybe
kick. I don't know.
Have you seen Trey Pipkins?
He's tall.
That's why.
Tall.
Have you seen his measurables?
Oh man,
that's why you give him up.
Yeah. Third round
He's
draft
impressive.
We won't send them any tape. We'll just send them the measurables.
Just the measurables, draft position, everything like that.
Potential.
Yeah,
potential.
You'd have to go full used car salesman to make that happen, because that thing's breaking down as soon as you take it off the lot.
That's the lemon. That's a lemon law right there.
Oh yeah,
that's a real hardcore lemon.
Yeah.
So, all right, there you go. See Densley 11. That's our
That
hot
would be a
take.
ninja move, though.
It would be a ninja move.
Yeah.
Let's move it on now to House of Hain, who asked the question. This just in. Tom uses the cap room the right way and signed no one to help the D or O-line. Sad face. Hope we can make the right adjustments with the Pats. They ran the ball really well on the 50 they hung up. I posted the Raiders at the top before the game. NFL knew. K, love you, bye. Well, hey, I mean, we can't be surprised of Tom not picking up anybody new for the D or the O-line.
I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. And all these teams, we got to remember, a lot of these teams we've run into, these running games that we've run into, and we said it last week, they've been some of the best in the league we've run into our first games.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So keep that in mind. I know they just had a great running game last week. The Patriots did, and people are concerned with how good their running game is. But how do those shake up against the guys we've already run against? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I think let's see what Staley can come up with. In Staley we trust.
Look,
Staley,
guys, we've as Charger fans, we've experienced a lot of losses, a lot of bad losses.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not lose our freaking minds right now because we lost one football game. Come on.
Right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Come on.
Rep some dirt on it. All right.
Yep.
Get back
we
in
don't
the game.
need our new roster. Here we go.
All right. Thank you, House of Hain, for asking the question. Moving on now to Bobby Caldrone, who asked the question. I'm not saying the Chiefs are done, but this year thus far has been proof that windows can close quickly. I think TT has a few moves on the table to make us Super Bowl contenders this year. But if he doesn't, do you feel he's missed a major opportunity to win now at cost of the future?
I think there's an element, we talked about this, like, I don't know if this is necessarily Telesco's roster, right? Like, this isn't fully...
Or Staley's roster.
Staley. This is definitely Telesco's roster.
I take that absolutely what I just said back. This is definitely not Staley's roster.
Yeah.
There's some plug-and-play guys that we have on one-year contracts. So I think, like Craig said, like, we are on kind of playing with house money right now. Like, we're far exceeded expectations everyone had for us. So
right.
Do you go out and be like, oh man, we're doing great, let's fucking burn through all this money we have, like it's just a different philosophy. And maybe Telesco's playing 4D chess and not checkers. These feel like reactionary things that we need to do right now to solve the problem, when maybe there's another plan in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But it does feel like when you're winning, and as a fan base, you see your GM trying and making moves, it's encouraging.
It is
But when you just sit kind of status quo, it's like, man, are we Super Bowl contenders right now? Or are we going to go and beat the Buccaneers and beat these big time teams with what we got now? And I think we could.
I think we could. I mean, a lot of these teams, we were close with the Bucs last year. Now, granted, we have a different team, and so do they. But all these games, minus the Baltimore game, like they've been good games. Like, we've been in contention and we've won a lot of those games. The Baltimore is the only second game that we've lost this season. And again, the rest of the schedule is
when you get in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, you have to win every game. There's not we had a dud week.
Absolutely. No, you're right.
Like, you have to win every single game against the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
You can't have, the Cowboys got us on the last second and then your season's over. So are we good enough to go in there and consistently win every single week throughout the playoffs? Having the experience that's been there, to me, that would be the best thing to bring in as a defensive lineman type guy that has experience as a Super Bowl champ. And I don't know if they're just sitting around. There's not a lot out there waiting around to be picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna have to move some things to make it happen. So we'll see. We got a week. It's exciting.
Have a
cutoff.
Yeah,
there is a cutoff date.
It's coming quick.
We can get excited, talk about all this stuff up until the second.
It's a week from when this episode goes out.
Right.
You know it.
But as far as whether or not he's missed a major opportunity, I don't feel like
we don't know
has happened yet. I personally I don't feel that way. But Bobby, thank you for asking the question.
Brother.
Moving on now to Curtis Loki, who asked the question.
Do you guys enjoy the Kansas City face as much as I did? What are your predictions for our record rest of the season? Okay, love you, bye.
11-0, baby.
11-0.
11-0.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's
our
it.
prediction, dude. Like,
Yep,
shameless and
no
positive.
reason not to predict that. That's, hey, yeah, like, there's no reason to think that we can't win out.
Look, if you're looking for realistic expectations, you're at the wrong show, guys.
Yeah, this is the wrong
ain't it.
podcast.
This ain't it, man.
Look,
We're 11.
buddy.
We're 17-0 from the get. Let's go.
I still think we could win 17 games. I think it's still
Absolutely.
possible.
Absolutely. So
We
that's
can
our.
still win. Wait. You said we can still win 17 games.
After we've
I'm
already
not
lost 2.
positive about it.
Well, 17
I think,
more
though.
because we got the playoffs.
I love
Yeah.
how you're trying to positively turn what I said. I didn't mean it like that at all.
I'm trying
We
to
can
help you out.
still we can still go back in time.
We
and
can
win
go
those
back. I have a
couple.
DeLorean. Let's go.
Yeah, winning out the rest of the season there, Curtis. That's our prediction. But thank you for
Yeah,
asking the question.
I did enjoy the Kansas City face. That was pretty awesome.
Yes.
was really good,
We
yeah.
all enjoyed it. It was
That
tasty.
knee to the face for Mahomes. was
All the
beautiful.
fumbles and picks.
I don't want anyone to get hurt, but he's not
No.
hurt. He's
He's
got
just
up.
a little
He cleared
concussed.
concussion protocol. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
That's right. All right, let's move on now to Andres Robles, who
Yes.
asked the question.
What's up, homies? No question today. Just want to say, the Broncos, the Quivers, and the motherfucking Raiders. Okay, love you, bye.
Yep.
We're all in agreement there, Andre.
The Charger
concur.
chat endorses this message.
We do, 100%. Thank you for making the statement.
Thanks, brother.
Let's move it on now to Jeeves. The D
Silent.
is silent.
Fucking D is
Who asked the question. Hey, Bolt fam, it's Wolf D-O-double-G here, and I know you're feeling down from that bullshit last week, but I'm here to tell y'all it's gonna be okay. Our Super Bowl film just needs a little bit of drama, baby. Oh, yeah. We just gotta chill out. Those bitch-ass Raiders may have won, but the Chiefs are dying, and it's a beautiful thing, baby. Oh, yeah. Y'all see these all-in episodes? These fucking things are Charger baby making vids, baby. Oh, yeah. Sexy as fuck, man. Oh, and hide your daughters and your wives this weekend because the wool dog is going to be on the hunt down at SoFi. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to multiply and catch up to my boys Huggy Bear and the Roach Coach. Oh, yeah, baby. Sleep tight, Bolt fam, and get ready for the storm. We're going to light this league on fire, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the Raiders. Okay, love you. Bye.
Hide your daughters and wives.
Hide your daughters, hide your wives.
Here goes Will Dog.
Here he comes, baby. Get ready for this.
He wrote a script as Adam. That's
It's like my inner monologue. He got it verbatim.
This is what you want to say every
Right.
time we get on this thing.
What was the other one? This is a baby making vids, baby.
Oh, those are well. That was his only question out of that whole thing was if we've seen the all-in vids because
It was good.
yes, we have, and those
Like,
are
within
baby making vids, babe.
10 minutes of them coming out. I watch it. I love it so much.
All right, Jeeves.
Jeeves.
Thank you for
Thanks,
the laughs,
man.
buddy. We appreciate it.
Oh.
Let's move it on now to Blonded Surfer.
All right.
All right, who asked the question?
Aloha, brothers! Finally, bye's over. From here on out, there will be Chargers football every week, baby. Woo! I'm on a Discord from my college classes, and today we have a midterm due at midnight when I decided to send a game day gift. The first one that popped up from the coconut was Wool Dog? The Woolly D? Adam? What? Why? I need to know the story behind this big kahuna of a mystery. I love the gift, boys. Bolt the fuck up. Kid, love you. Bye.
All right. Well, the the GIF in question is me shotgunning a beer bright
Like
and early in the
8:30
morning.
in the morning.
Yeah.
8:30.
Bright and early in the morning. That was the game that all three of us got to go to, the home opener against Dallas. And
You went for it.
I was pretty hungover that morning. I'm not gonna lie. And you guys were like,
We kinda
"We got
were
one
for a
beer.
couple
You
days."
drink it." And I'm like, "All right." So
But then you
hair
gave
of
us the
little hair
well,
of the
you
dog.
got it. Yeah, you got to
Hair of the wool dog.
Exactly, a little hair of the wool dog that bit you. But yeah, Kyle set up the shotgun for me, and you can't just you can't drink a shotgun and go, with a pinky up and go like, wasn't that delicious? Let's all go to the game now, shall we? Yes, let's all go. You gotta spike it and go, let's go.
And then I figured out how to make GIFs. So that's how that turned into a GIF. That video turned into a GIF. And now I'm seeing people put it everywhere. It's
Great.
awesome.
Awesome. I love it. So
you chugging a beer.
Me shotgunning a beer. Let's go, everybody. Blonded Surfer, thank you for reminding me that exists. I appreciate it. Let's move on now to Jack Zicklin.
Certified fresh.
That's the question.
I'm gonna go with certified fresh. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Hey, what seats and sections do you have? I'll drop by and say hi.
Hey.
Well, as we mentioned before.
Wait, Adam, you know better than us. What seats are we in?
Yeah, you've been there more times than we have.
I don't remember the seat numbers. I always remember the section. I always have to look at my phone.
10.
They all
307,
ended, they all ended
row
in 10.
10.
Oh,
10,
okay.
11, and 12.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
307,
307,
row 10,
row 10, 10, 11, 12.
Yep.
There you go.
Intentionally done that.
Intentionally around number 10.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go, Jack. Can't wait to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's move.
Wait, yeah, I'm not going to be there. So yeah, I hope you enjoy
I
Adam.
can't wait to see you, Jack.
Great. Hope you have fun.
And if you happen to go to other games, you might see a Duggan brother and sitting there. It won't be me, and that's okay.
Yeah, well, you can let your wives and daughters
I've gone
out.
to
'cause
enough.
we'll be
I
there.
think I can let these guys go to some games. And they can
When we go, you don't need to hide anyone.
You don't need to hide your lady folk.
Let's move it on now to Aaron, who asked the question.
What Halloween activities did Hacksaw Kev Duggan have to partake in that he really didn't want to partake in? I was always the same way when my kids were little. Can't love you, bye.
Yeah, Kev.
It's like, just being the oldest,
being a
you kind of
dad.
always get to do what you want when you want to do it. And then you become a dad. And then that shit's out the window, man.
Right.
Like, I didn't want to change the 12 diapers I changed this weekend. I didn't want to do that at all. But I did it.
You were
I
chomping
won't
at the
say-
bit to do it?
There's one
No.
thing that Kevin always did that I don't think he gets to do anymore, and that's he used to make like a horror haunted house thing at our house growing up. On Halloween, there was like a huge, all the way from the street to our house, it was just a good like 15 yards.
Oh, really?
We had like this big haunted house that kids had to walk through if they wanted candy.
Yeah, it was
Half
dope.
of them just kept going. They're like, nah, not interested in the Kit
I
Kat
don't think I
bar.
knew that.
I did this 2 years ago here where I set up a tent and I put a light inside of it and I had a Jason mask and I had like a fake chainsaw so you could see the silhouette and I was like, I had my son laying down there and I was like cutting into him like, and I unzip the thing and run after people. Like these kids bolted up the street. It
Nice.
was awesome.
Nice.
Actually, you know what? F- it, that
Do
sounds
it.
fun. I'm going to do
Yeah.
that this year.
There
I
you
wasn't
go.
planning on doing it.
Charge
Now
your
I am.
victories. Go scare some adolescents. Let's do this.
All right. Well, there you go, Aaron. Kev
But the
became a
diapers,
dad.
I didn't want to do any of that.
Yeah, diapers suck. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Comes
Especially
part of
when
the
they're
game.
just, they should not, we're almost out of it with one of them and they just smell like man shits. And you shouldn't be having to clean up man shits.
Just logs.
That's not
Yeah.
right. That belongs in porcelain, not in that diaper, bro.
Yeah. There's a reason we do it in water. Kill some of that stench.
Yeah, come on now.
Come on,
Poopery
buddy.
it.
Help a brother out.
Help a father out.
There you go, Aaron. Thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Touch of Phallus.
Yeah.
Who asked
I've
the
missed
question?
you, Touch of Phallus.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Touch of Phallus in a while, and he's going to take us out.
I
Here we
miss you,
go.
man.
Well, it's the bye week, so I may as well ask a stupid question, okay? Would you rather watch 1, a Raiders game knowing they are going to blow out the competition? 2, a 3.5-hour compilation of Jackson Mahomes TikTok dancing videos? I miss Charger football. Hooah!
Oh my God.
I
100%
miss-
option one.
I missed the. Oh, really?
No.
You would
Oh, I
rather
could
the
not watch
Raiders
Jackson
win?
run. I would
Would you not
watch
suffer or win?
Maybe somebody gets hurt, something crazy happens. It's in Vegas. Who knows? I cannot watch Jackson Mahomes do a TikTok. I can't watch one. 3.5 hours of that numbnuts?
Pretty brutal.
No way.
It's a 3.5 hour game or 3.5 hours of TikTok videos.
At least it's football. Better than that guy.
It's football. Dude, I'd rather the TikTok and not watch a Raider victory.
What are we supposed to do on bye week though? Like, this is a good question.
I think it's a great question. I miss Touch of Alice's Would You Rather. These are great questions.
They're gonna win. I have no say. I would rather not watch Jackson Mahomes.
But what if watching Jackson Mahomes means they don't win?
I don't think that's. You're adding weird things to the question.
I'm just saying, if you could suffer through 3.5 hours of Jackson Mahomes TikTok dancing,
I would watch 3.5 hours of this guy doing TikTok dances.
This guy.
If that means the Raiders never win a game ever again, then yes, I would.
Okay.
I think I'd probably watch. I guess you're right. Watching football is better than watching some idiot dance.
Yeah, God, are you kidding me?
But they're not blowing out us. They're blowing out the competition. We're not the competition.
Yeah.
They're blowing out somebody else.
But they blow out the Chiefs or blow out the Broncos. That's still kind of like a.
Either way, they
love
blow.
how a really stupid question has turned into like, let's analyze this. I love this so much.
These are always the best for the Would You Rather.
Touch of Alice. You find a way to twist our brains into knots.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love you.
I don't even
Touch
know
of Alice.
what I want anymore.
I love you, Touch of Alice.
Thank you for asking the question, and thank you everybody for asking all your questions in Ask Boltfam. We greatly appreciate it because you guys make this episode what it is. Now, as we go out of this episode, it's time to make some Bolt predictions. We're bringing it back. Obviously, we didn't last week because it was a bye week. This week, we are going against the Patriots. Bolt predictions, fellas. What do we have to predict?
Kevin has to go first.
Okay. Chargers will win 27-21. And I think Vizcaino is perfect on the day.
All right.
Because there's a field goal in there. 27. That's a field goal. You got to throw a field goal in there. That's not 28. That's a field goal. There's a field goal of something.
All right. That's a field goal and all this. I mean, the field goal, he's got the better percentage on it. So it's making all those extra points. That's what it's really going to be the test, right?
He's got this. Maybe. Probably not. But that's my bold prediction.
All right. Kyle, what are you thinking?
I got 31-17 Bolts, obviously. And I have an Andre Roberts return touchdown on the day.
Oh, good call.
Good call. Love it. I'm going to say 27-17 Chargers, obviously. And
well, how else do we go 11-0?
I know, right? I'm going to say Eckler gets 100 yards rushing.
Okay.
Fine.
Conservative, bold view.
It's not conservative. He only has one. I think he only has one game of 100 yards rushing this year.
Touche.
He's possibly not okay. Wow, way to make me feel like an asshole for my bold prediction.
You're not an asshole. We love you.
Yeah,
we love you.
No, yeah, it's a strong prediction. Yeah, it's really shooting for the fences. All right.
These are all wins, though. These are all wins in our books.
All wins, folks. So
have any of us ever not predicted a win? In the history of the show.
This is a useless segment. Really.
I feel like you did once.
I
to try to like break a chain or something like that. Some kind of bad juju. It didn't.
It definitely didn't work.
Yeah, otherwise you'd still be doing it.
Last year was kind of shit anyway.
It was. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us here at the Charger Chat this week. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Hey, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye. Hoa!
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Howdy there, folks. Colonel Staley here to tell you about KFC's newest meal, the competitive casual football playing Justy meal now at KFC. Get it gangster size for just $1 more. Made with Colonel Staley's original recipe, full of one herb and a lot of spices. So come on down to KFC and get the new competitive casual football playing Justy meal today. It's football picking good.